I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, Adams Agula. Adams Agula. Can you hear me?
So, GM, sir, I left the call. I was having network issues, so I didn't hear the question you asked. If you can come again, please.
Okay, so it's a simple introduction of what your name, the name of your startup, and the problem you're trying to solve.
Okay, my name is Adam Agula. I don't have a startup.
Okay, then no problem. To the next person, Cardi Berry. Cardi Berry, yeah. Cardi Berry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Amza, please mute your mic. So, Cardi, your name, the name of your startup, and what you're trying to solve, please.
My name is Kadiberi.
Okay. So, what's the name of your startup, and what are you trying to solve? Cardi, you are muted. Cardi, can you hear me? You're muted.
Can you repeat? What did you say?
I said, what's the name of your startup, and what problem are you solving with your startup? Okay. To the next person, my screen here, Kokori Nimat. Kokori Nimat. Kokori Nimat, can you hear me? Okay, to the next person, Lazarus Ede. Yeah, I think I got that right. Lazarus, can you hear me also?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
James, my name is Lalo Sidi, and I'm a fashionista. And currently, I don't have anything I'm working on the Web3 space, though.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So I don't know why many of us are saying we don't have anything we're working on in the Web3 space. Because the truth is, pitching is not only meant for startup founder. Sometimes it's meant for even people that need a job, and then you're trying to pitch a founder. You're trying to pitch him to get a job, to get a role. What makes me better? What makes you better than other participants out there? What makes you feel I should choose you? That is just pitching. The same way you pitch to me for a job is the same way I would pitch to an investor for money. So yeah, but that's by the way. To the next person, Ajibo Laos or Lois. Louis Ajibo. Yeah, I think I got that right. Louis Ajibo. So please, an intro and what you do and what you're trying to do. Is Louis there? Okay. So the next person, Michael Chukwedu. Yeah, Michael Chukud. Okay, Chukudi rather. Michael Chukudi, please. Can I hear from you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Michael Chukudi, a student from Kasauri Polytechnic, writer, community builder, and social media manager. But there's no startup yet actually, for
Okay.
maybe in the future, but not now.
All right, then, no problem. The next person, Mohammed Awula. Awuwa, rather.
Mo- Mohammed Awad.
Okay, Awa.
Yes, sir. My name is
Sorry, I pronounced it by the letters.
no problem. Mohammed Awad.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm an engineering student. I just finished. I don't have a startup yet, but hoping to in the future.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Mr. Oh, my Oga has given up. Wait, give me a minute, please. I'm coming.
Guys, please, anytime you call to talk, please just you unmute yourself and talk. Is if you don't have any startup or anything to do, just say you don't have anything to do. Don't just be silent and let them keep calling you without answering. Thank you so much for I should comply. So today is going to be very interactive, very interactive. I just want you able to prepare your mind because you now go talk today, Sha. You get. So today is very interactive, and I promise you, it will be very impactful. You're gonna get a lot of um knowledge and information that could be what will change your career. Who knows? Yeah. So just be very active and interact also. Our tutor will be back in a few minutes, maybe not
Yeah,
up
I'm
to a
back
minute.
already. I'm back already.
Sir.
So yeah, the next person on my screen here is Olumba Eugene. So Olumba
Yeah,
Eugene, can you do an intro, please?
okay, good evening. My name is Eugene. I'm a graduate of Dora University, Kano, presently a corporate serving in Edo State. So, in the classic sense of the word startup, I won't say I don't have one, but there is something I'm trying to do here that I found myself because I noticed that there is a sheer ignorance of everything Web3 in this very place that I am. And then with my previous experience of having onboarded at least almost 200 students back in BUK to the BitGet exchange. So I'm trying to do the same thing here, but in a proper educative manner.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so Sarah Unozutu. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Sarah, are you with us?
Okay, yes, I am. My name is Surya Onozutu. I am a graduate of Bayero University, Kano. I graduated from the Department of Nursing recently, so I don't have any startup. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. So I think that's every one of us. So good evening once again. Okay, I can see someone newly joined us. Zacchaeus Tolulokwe and Umaru Mika Danja. But yeah, I won't be calling them because of our time. Our time is fast spent, and yeah, we have a lot to do. So, firstly, um, the topic I'm to speak on today is pitching to investors in Web3, right? But I wouldn't be talking about pitching to investors in Web3, but I would also be talking to I'll be talking to us in broad way about pitching your project's idea, your company idea, your capacity to join a team, and all of these to people, regardless of where you are, where you met them, online, offline, referred or not referred to. All of these things are what matters when it comes to pitching. Pitching is not just about telling people about the idea, people is about being the idea and being the carrier of such idea. And which is why I am here to speak to us about what it really looks like when it comes to pitching. So now straight into it. First of all, let us understand what pitching is. Pitching is the representation or a communication of what you can offer to people in exchange of something. So pitching is either the value you have, the prospects you have, what your future looks like, and telling somebody else who does not in any way or in any how relate to your idea, relate to your concepts, or even relate to your future to buy into your future, to own a piece of the cake to invest into you so you can implement, execute, and attain that future so the person can get returns. In Web3, we are so fond of some sort of lackadaisical way of pitching or lackadaisical way of representing our value because we are in this inshallah and vibes kind of sector where people do not really have values, but they say they have values. Projects do not really have values, but they say they have values. They end up raising so much funds, inflated market cap or inflated valuation, and at the end of the day, they crumble so fast. So in Web3, or let me say globally, or in the business wise, or in the career growth wise, there are different methods of pitching. There are different ways you attract investors, collaborators, employers, to join you to do your work. There is something we call cold pitching, and there's what we call warm pitching, more similar to cold emailing and warm emailing. But in this sense of it, one is better than the other. One is utilized with leverage. The other is utilized with though it would require skills, but one is more favorable than the other. When it comes to pitching, an example of cold pitching is simply me busting into Mr. Dami. I don't know him from anywhere, and I meet him on LinkedIn, and then the next thing I do is text him, "Oh, hello, I can do this, I can do that. Would you like to employ me?" Or I'm building this. Excuse me, please. And I'm trying to raise this amount of money. Would you like to invest? Those are cold pitching. Most of the times, a few percent of it only works out. The majority of it do not work out. One pitching is I know Mr. Dami, and Mr. Dami knows great who is the investor. I speak to Mr. Dami. Oh, I'm trying to raise $50,000. I'm sorry, Dami. Oh, I don't have money, but I have a friend who has money. Come along, let me do an intro. And then he shoot an email and say, "Oh, great, this guy is my friend from young age. Oh, he has done this, he has done that. He's raising 50,000. Can you come in with 10,000?" And at the end of the day, Great comes in with 10,000. That is what is called warm pitching. I'm not going there alone. I'm going there with a connection. I'm going there with a leverage of somebody that knows somebody. So when it comes to when it comes to building as a whole, building your career as a whole, regardless whether Web3 or non-Web3, it's great to have this pitching skill beyond just projects ideas. You must understand how to pitch your skill, how to pitch your value, how to pitch your business. Because even if you can't pitch any of this, you can't get customer. You must be good with storytelling acts. You must be good with accountability. You must be good with even having a strong virtual and physical representation of yourself to be able to pitch or to be able to get attracted to investors. High reputation is highly needed because at the end of the day, when you are reaching out to these people for job, for investments, for collaboration and partnership, for event sponsorship, or anything at all, that requires you to speak to somebody else of a higher caliber of a or doing more better than yourself or your businesses, and you definitely know this individual would get to, or this individual's collaboration or investment into my life, into my project, into my business will take me to the next 10x level where I want to get to. You need to understand that reputation is the frontier or the front or the forerunner of whatsoever results will come back. If you have a very strong reputation online or offline or anywhere you are, definitely know that would speak for you. And if you have the otherwise, that would also speak for you. That is one part. Now, the other part of pitching is when it comes to storytelling. For example, you want to sell me a product. The guy that said he's having in Ondo State, Olumba, I think. He said he has done some things with Bill Gates back in his days in the university. I believe he wasn't just going to the people he onboarded to say, "Oh guys, take this here, bring your phone, download this app, sign up." He pitched to them. He sold what BitGets had to offer to them. That is the customer side of pitching. So pitching is not just, oh, go to investors. Pitching is, you should know how to tell a story. Why am I building this? Who am I building it for? Where am I building it to? What should be the expectation of the users and every other combined stakeholders? This is what pitching is. Pitching is not just every one of us, I believe, oh, pitching is having a pitch deck, pitching is having this, raising money, talking to investors. And the truth is, we keep going around the circle, we keep pitching, we keep meeting investors that we don't even bother opening our deck because the first impression is everything. You come to me and you tell me, oh, you are building this, you are building that, and you start calling, we are building for a $40 billion market size. In the next 5 years, we should have 10% of that market. Excuse me, please. You know, and you start calling all of those kind of unrealistic figures. Right from their spots, I'm ending the conversation. Right? But when you're pitching to me and you're telling me things that relate with your audience, things that relate with your market, fully diagnosed, researched digits and numbers, and you're telling me, oh, within this period to that period, we can do this amount of money, we can do this amount of volume with 1,000 users from this sector, from that sector. This is how we can onboard the 1,000 users by partnering with these people, with that people. I believe you know what you're doing. You don't just have the resources to get it done. Or, for example, you're telling me, oh, we can do this amount of volume. We just need to raise $250,000 today, and then by next 2 years, we'll be here. My brother, the door is getting shut at you immediately. Right? What people want to see is, what have you done with $1,000? If I give you $5,000 now, what will you do in the next 6 months? After the next 6 months, what would you likely to be like? How much would I give you to a point where you can be bold enough to raise $100,000? You're coming to telling me, oh, I can give you that. So decide figures on your salaries. Oh, if you can pay me 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then your company should to have this and that and that. The things I do now, most of my marketing myself I handle by myself because I handle my figures. And I tell you, this is my budget for it. What are you going to do with 200,000 naira for me? If you can't defend that, then there's no way I'm asking you to come in full time or to do something for me, because that is just how it should be. Because when I go to investors, also, I would have to pitch myself to let them know I need this amount of money to do this and this and this. And they tell me, come and prove that you can do it. So, pitching is a lifetime something that Olumba or any other thing, because it aligns with the purpose of storytelling. You need to be able to tell your story. Why do you want me to employ you? What is your vision towards my company? Why do you want me to give you money for what you are building? What is your vision towards my money? Why do you want us to onboard into the platform you are promoting as an educator? What is the value you are getting and pushing? So, Bro, do you want to say something? Grace, please mute your mic, please. Somebody mute Great mic for me. Okay, better. So all of these are what comes together um, to make the word pitches. Now there are now various tools used in making your pitch perfect. Now AI has made things better compared to sometimes where we need to crack our languages to make it align with the various type of pitches we want to do. Now for we founders, we've been able to understand there are various type of pitches for different kind of investors. Investor A might understand a different language, might see concepts of living from a different perspective. Investor B might be an African, but he has never lived in Africa before. So he's never used to the systems that works in Africa. Investor A pitch be the same thing as Investor B. Investor A is a non-African. He doesn't understand. He doesn't have a roots. Investor B is an African. He has a roots, but he has never understand what really happens in Africa. Investor C is an Africa or an African, a Nigerian based in Lagos, grew up in Shogunle or in Mushin or Ajegunle before he was lifted up and is now based in San Francisco. He knows the difference between Africa and Nigeria, which is why I said or pitching is a storytelling problem and solution to investor A to align has never been here. And now, how does I make that same and purpose of your speech from or Ajegunle or up here and wasting? That's why pitching is of storytelling. There are different type of pitches or pitch material. Some people will prefer to use pitch deck. It is commonly used by most of the startups. Some people will prefer to use brochure. Will even prefer to do a video pitch, which is where they believe their storytelling skill can be easily expressed. How long should your brochure, your pitch deck look like or be? Any of your pitch material should catch your investor or your target audience in the first 30 to 60 seconds. And it shouldn't be longer than 3 minutes. Video, whatsoever, it shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 minutes read. And it should catch in your deck. I'm watching your pitch video, telling to me you're collecting from me. So if me as an educated person can't understand what you're building in 30 seconds, how do you to Roger explains to the market women? How do you explain to the mechanic, to the carpenter? And which is why one of the things you've seen us build on what majority of the DeFi Web3 platform are not doing, simplifying blockchain technology into real life use cases. At Elsgo, we simplified blockchain technology to provide and some of those the blockchain. On importer pay now, we are simplifying Naira transaction on chain without anybody even knowing they're interacting with the blockchain. No 12 word seed phrase, no necessary forward wallet ID, and all of those things. All of these things are part of storytelling skills, or are part of what is needed to allow our storytelling interesting. I don't need to tell the investor, oh, we are building a blockchain, so and so. All I need to tell him is we are building a retail banking built on chain. Retail banking can be anything. How are you making yours better? Do this by making sure we are scrapping out the heavy forwards wallets, addresses, and seed phrase stuff, and making sure we are integrated into our banking system. Simple. So you know you have on-chain wallets, but that on-chain wallet is not visible to you because there's a bank account labeled or layering on top of the blockchain wallet. Those are simple things needed to do. And now you can't pitch a product that is not a product. Yeah. Many of us or many founders in the African system are so used to pitching products, imaginary products that is not functional. You see people bring Figma file to me and say they want to raise funding, and they bring pitch deck and they label it with whatsoever amounts they feel is best fit for them. And I tell them straight up, I can't even give you any intro. It's a waste of time. You don't have a product. Go and build your products. Go and build your brand. Go and build yourself. Yeah, you want to get a job, build your brand. Suffer it, volunteer, give out a lot of freebies to make sure that your services is in the eyes of everybody. Then after, go and get a structured job that would be what? That would pay. You want to get funding for your startup, go and build your MVP, the barest minimum. Come back and you will get funding. But some people come around with Figma files and they say, oh, we want to get funding. Bro, nobody's going to fund you. Nobody will give you a job without a proof of work. Nobody will give you a job. Nobody will partner with your product without a proof of work. So those are things we need to know. Before you go into the part of, oh, you want to pitch for funding, oh, you want to pitch to get a job, ask yourself the question, have I done my homework? Have I built my MVP? Have I built my reputation? Have I built my proof of work? Can my name get me into some places with the proof of work I have? Can people easily reckon with me with the proof of work I have? All of these things are things that are needed and efficient for us to get value or to get money for our value or to get results for our value, either as a job hunter in the Web3 space or non-Web3 space, either as a startup founder, excuse me, please, trying to build to raise fund, or any other thing that needs you to tell your story to customers, to stakeholders. So yeah, that also being said, one of the biggest leverage of founders or entrepreneurs or career people, looking to pitch their way into success is practice. Now, one of the things most of the founders overlook is we don't practice how to pitch. We feel like, oh, we know it all already. But the truth is, different people, different concepts, different method of communication. For some people, your natural pitch, your natural language could serve. For some people, you need to go an extra mile. You need to learn how to pitch not just with word, but with bodily language. How do you carry yourself when you pitch? Are you camera shy? Are you scared of the crowd? Do you understand body movements? How do you pitch yourself even with your body? When you meet an investor, are you fully prepared to pitch? When you're in the middle of a crowd and you are called upon just one like that, are you prepared enough to pitch? All of these things are what comes together to decide whether your pitch will go well or not. You might have the best of language, but you might not be prepared. Your dress code might not match the event. Your wordings might not match the environment. Your body language might not even look pleasant to the judges or to whoever is pitching. And at the end of the day, it becomes a flop. So to make sure you're sitting in right and tight at every point in time, we need to practice pitch. Call your sister, call your brother, ask them to stand in front of you, pitch to them, get their feedback, rework their feedback, structure it, and then go back again to the drawing board. Pitch again, pitch again, pitch numerously. Yeah, everybody has stage fright. My first public pitch, man, it was a mess. Yeah, though we managed to get into second position then. Was it second? Yeah, we got into second position then, but it was still a mess because when I went into the event, my dress code was first a no. And I was like, oh no, this part I already fucked up. Right. But because it was my first public pitch, I was just like a guy about it and like, let me just go and try my luck. But after on, I now learned that you don't go and try your luck. You prepare for the luck. Yeah, when you prepare, if you have a scalable product and you're prepared for the pitch, you are definitely winning the prize. But you're not prepared, you don't have a scalable product, there's no need bothering to pitch. Just stay at home and rest and chill out. Do you understand? So all of these things are what comes together to form a successful pitch as a business person, as a career person, you know, among every of that. Then lastly, when it comes to pitching, there are also different type of pitch. You must understand that pitching for grants is different from pitching for investors, venture capital, and is also different from pitching for customers or pitching to customers. So you need to also learn how to align every of all of these things. I'm going to base for a grant now. What do I pitch to base to make it interesting for them to want to give me their grant? Right? How do I need to measure the attraction? How do I need to measure my contribution into the ecosystem to make sure I bring the grants up? I'm going to pitch to private equity investors. What do I tell him will be the return on investments? How fast do I tell him his investments will grow? All of these things are what aligns. And lastly, things many of us lose out is structure. One of the biggest things I always have and I always have is structure. I remember the first time I and Grace was discussing, and yeah, we're planning to bring him up on importer. And I sent him about 6 different documents, and I told him, go and read every of all of these things. If you are fine with it, come back and tell me, let's see what we can do. That is it. As a founder, as a business person, you must be willing to be accountable. You must be willing to work with structure. You must be willing to be transparent, not just to your team, not just to yourself, but to your investors all around, whether grant investors, equity investors, crowdfunding investors, family and friends, even if it's your mother that is the investor, you must be ready to work with structures. You must have boards of directors, approve this, approve that, people that guide, advise, and watch over you before you implement or execute any decision. All of these things are what comes together to formulate the structure needed to run a successful company that can be fundable. Do you understand? So here is just a brief of what you can do or the best way to pitch yourself, not just your projects in the Web3 space, but to pitch yourself as an employee or an individual, a talent, a creative, finding a job. Very good part of this is the experience use of Twitter and LinkedIn, because you see those two parts, they can make you or mar you. To be very honest, I've seen Twitter make people, and I've also seen Twitter bring people down. Yeah, in many occasions. So you need to know how to strategically use these two powerhouse and social medias to get yourself up. It also aligns with your structure. When you know how to communicate, you know what to communicate, then you definitely know what to put out there on social medias. You see, many of us, we have an official page, and then we're already talking about some, topics that does not align with our sector, right? Or some discussions that doesn't even align with our career path, or some discussion that doesn't even concern what future path we are taking. So all of these things are what we need to put together, put in order, understand how to use, understand how to put, and communicate all of these things to the public, to our teams, before we can say we want to have a successful pitch. Now, beyond all of this, one of the things that I would also definitely advise each and every one of us, because I know we'll grow, we'll get to that point, is understanding that in the business cycle, whether as an employee or an employer, different things will definitely play out. But you also need to understand how you communicate those events, those situations to your stakeholders. So, for example, there was a time when we have crypto ban. Immediately, our president came in, and it affected one of my startup there. And I had to meet our grantee or grandson. I was like, "Yo, this is what is going on. Are you still willing to go on with us or no?" They said no. We refunded them their remaining grant money with us, and we said, "Yo, That is just all. We don't want to spoil our reputation. Even for me personally, I wouldn't destroy my reputation because of money, because I know where I'm going to is farther and more benefiting than the amount of money I would tarnish my image for. So all of these things happens, right? And one of the best things to always do is communicate it. So pitching doesn't end when you raise that money. Pitching is a continuous effort to scale, to grow, and to keep good relationship with your stakeholders. You pitch every single end of the month because definitely your investor that give you money needs a monthly update. So you need to learn how to tell your story to the investor. This is the event that is happening. This is what we have done to curb it. This is what we have done to increase our revenue. This is what we have done to increase our user base. This is how we are doing. This is what we need to do. This is where we are lacking behind. This is where we need to put in more effort. If we put in more effort, we should be able to grow in the next 2, 3 months into this level. All of these things are the act of storytelling. Storytelling is pitching. Your idea, your value, your concept of life, everything around you should be like you are pitching. You want to get something from your mom, pitch her. Let her know you know what you need and the value of what you need to give you that thing you need. You want to get something from your dad, pitch him. Let him know you know what you need. Give yourself that personalized behavior of pitching to everybody to get what you want. Do you understand? If you can't pitch your dad and your mom successfully, trust me, you can't pitch an investor. Trust me, you can't pitch a customer. So yeah, I hope I've been able to share a few ideas and way of how pitching your idea, your project, yourself, your value to different set of people for different category of needs. So let me know what you think. And if you have a question, I'll be here to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Divine. That was really, really, really educated. Please, this is time for questions and answers. Please, if you have a question, you can raise up your hand or you drop it in the message box so that I can read it to our tutor and he answer your question. Any question? Micah, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Can you hear me, Micah? Unmute yourself and ask your question.
I think you mean Michael, not Micah. Or is anybody else using his hand?
So, Michael Chikudi. Thank you for the correction.
Okay. The question I have for our tutor today is, what after like you've like gotten the job and everything, if you don't like fulfill your own part of, I'm talking about the employment part now, not pitching to an investor. Like after you have been employed, what if you do not like fulfill your own part of the um job or so on? How, like, do you have like to tell us like how does it end? Like how does things like that end? And has it ever happened in this space?
Before you get a job, I spoke about proof of work. You doing your homework, learning what you need to have, the skills you need to have, what you need to do to fulfill your end of the job. If you get a job from me and you not fulfill your end of the job, and you're expecting me to pay you, our matter will land in court. Oh. Uh-huh. That's why you have more than 6 documents to sign when getting a job from me. Because yeah, I've experienced such things before, not once, not twice. You understand? Those days, we even train employees to better their skills. And yeah, there was one we trained, and after our training, she didn't even stay up to a month. She just ghosted us, every one of us. Like she didn't reply, both on Slack, reached out to her personally. So you see, when you're trying to work with me now, or when you're trying to work with anybody, you should have your skills. You should know what you want to do and how you want to do it. If you're not able to deliver it, then get ready to face whatsoever is being written in your contract of employment, as the consequences for not doing that. So yeah, that is I hope I was able to answer your question. So before you get a job, know you can deliver the job. Don't just get a job out of, oh, I can deliver it. All right, any other question? Any other question, please?
Can I ask again?
Okay, ask.
Um, and is there a way like I don't know you can actually fulfill your own part of the job and so on, and then company like fill their own part to like for in payment purpose like is there a way something like that or does it like happen in this space too?
Yeah, it happens definitely. So when it happens, your own role is to take the complaint or whosoever it is to justice also. Do you understand? So that is just it.
And sorry to say, and is there like a way to avoid such companies or like how do we know?
There's no way to avoid them, but there are also ways you could know. Now, when you see a complaint that is, when you see a complaint that maybe lacks transparency, structures, and they are not even ready to pen down some things themselves, or they're always trying to run away for some things that are needed to be done, then you should be suspicious. Or then you have this one person, I don't know how to put it, but there are way you know. In relationship, the way you relate with whoever is getting you on the complaint, there are ways you would know.
Yeah, through your instincts.
Definitely through instincts and through your conversational flow with whoever the person is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other question, guys?
All right, Nimat, I can see your hand. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. So I
Good
asked
evening.
if he could begin on the common mistakes to avoid when pitching for a project or anything. Like I didn't hear him clearly then.
Okay. So, common mistakes to avoid when pitching, right? Did I get you correctly?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So, now when you're pitching, the most common mistake everyone make is the use of the kind of language, impression, body language, wordings that we use in pitching, because different people has different method of assimilating a pitch. So when you are pitching, I gave an example of pitching to three different people. One being a non-African but interested in the African market as an investor, the other being an African but has never lived in Africa, has never lived in Nigeria, but he has a root. And the other being being an Africa that grew up in Africa, maybe grew up in Shugunle or Ajugunle or somewhere in even Kano State, and he knows the problem we are facing. Those three set of people you are preaching to would certainly demand different storyline, but the same purpose of pitching. I also give an example of pitching for grants and pitching for equity investments. These are two